All right, Joel on True, everybody. Welcome to another Antares Shipyard live stream. Today we've got episode 4 of the Captain's Table. We're going to be going in depth, taking a microscopic look at the Cardassian Union faction pack, the new Dominion faction pack that was just released here a couple months ago. So if you're new here and you haven't seen many of the Captain Table's episodes, what we like to do is we will go through each card. And I have got pretty much a round table with me, the captain's table, if you will. I have my co-host, and then we have a guest host for today. And we're going to take a look at each card, talk about the ability, and then we're going to try and see if there are any kind of combos or any strengths, weaknesses to the card that exist in the game, and kind of determine the card's place in the game today. So that's pretty much our goal here. We're pretty much just a round table. And please, for anybody who's watching, utilize the chat. I'm watching the chat, so we can go ahead and get you guys get the community involved in the round table discussion. It's by no means just limited to us talking. So I want to introduce my first guest, my co-host for this series. Is you guys, everybody knows him from the Shipyard on YouTube. So my co-host in this venture is David Montgomery, and then my guest host for today he comes from the Fremont Reformation Group, but many know him out in the community. He does a lot of custom work. He's got a custom card creator program that he has out there on GitHub, and his name is John. Weekaboo, most people know. I believe that's how you pronounce it. But let's go ahead and bring them in. All right, so the intro is complete. So my co-host, as I said, you know him from the Shipyard over on YouTube, David Montgomery. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, Jerry?
Oh, I'm doing well. You know, it's Friday. It's time to pull out some attack wing cards. And then our guest host for tonight, you know him from the Facebook community group. He's here in the Fremont Reformation with us. He's done a lot of great things out there in the community. He's got the custom card creator that he's worked on. I believe that's you, John, right?
That's me.
Hey, welcome. How are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good.
Awesome. I hope you're excited to talk about some Cardassian cards.
Yeah, I literally just picked this up from my LGS last week, so
Oh, so it's fresh. Awesome.
yeah, I just opened it last night. So
All right, let's pull the board up. Okay. Hello, everybody. Got the face cam on. Okay. Um, so I know we've got John in the tabletop simulator with us. David is on Utopia, so he won't be able to see what's on the screen, but we'll let you know what's up here if there's anything crazy. Um, before we reveal the first card in the pack, um, we are going to go through this through numerical order again. I'm not the greatest at picking out which cards are going to be the problem childs in a pack. Um, so I just prefer to leave them in numerical order. It's easier for me to sort. Um, but let's just kind of talk about what your overall feeling is for the faction pack as a whole, and then we can come back at the end and talk about it some more once we kind of go through things. Um, John, how about you start since you just opened it?
yeah, oh sure. First thoughts. I mean, looking at the Cardassian ships, they're definitely keeping with that synergy they put in the old buffing other ships.
Yeah,
So there's a huge Cardassians look like they're becoming the swarm fleet, other than the Brit is just really exciting addition. Really, Dukat himself is a exciting addition, yeah. But there's some interesting stuff going on in this, even just glancing at it.
Yeah, absolutely. David, how about what were your first thoughts of the faction pack when you saw it?
Yeah, this was the faction pack that in my 4 months of student teaching and my kind of sabbatical from YouTube uh, made me record a video on it. So that should speak to something. I really like this pack. I think it's a very solid pack overall. And you don't need a ton of other stuff to make this pack work well. And that's exciting to me.
Yeah, yeah, I think you guys hit the nail on the head. My first thoughts when I saw the previews for it were that it's going to make the Dominion a little bit more relevant than they already were, especially the Cardassians. So that is a good thing. Um, so without wasting any more time, let's go ahead and I'm going to pull card number 1 off here. Unless I'm going to pull the cover off here. And card number 1 in the pack is the Prelock. It is a Cardassian Kelin class at 5143. 2 tech slots, 2 weapon slots, a crew slot at 24 points. So that's a fairly good reduction for the Keldons. The ability, all friendly Dominion ships within range 1 roll +1 attack die. So already a synergistic kind of ability with a Dominion. David, how about you take this one first?
Yeah, this it may not be the star of the pack, but it's a really good ability because you start comboing it with something like the Sixth Wing Patrol Ship, which is a Jem'Hadar bug that says this ship rolls +1 attack die if there's another Jem'Hadar attack ship within range 1. You start to see the synergy that's inherent in the faction. Um, Dominion as a whole have pretty good attack numbers. You're looking at 4 on your Gallers, 5 on your Keldons, 5 on the battle cruiser and the battle ship,
Mm-hmm.
I think it is. Uh, so this gets you up to 6, and you don't have to jump through a lot of hoops to make that happen. And Keldons by themselves are pretty fantastic ships.
Yeah,
So I like what this brings to the table, and you don't have to zhuzh it up to fly it well.
yeah, that's true. John, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, first card, and I'm just thinking, it's just the buffing. Is I was looking through some of the other Dominion ships that came out since the card packs,
Mm-hmm.
and just looking at the last faction pack, you have a Jem'Hadar battle cruiser that gives every Jem'Hadar attack ship +1 defense die within range 1. So now these two ships are buffing giving +2 pluses to all the Jem'Hadar ships in range.
Mm-hmm.
It's formation flying, so you want to watch out for those torpedo fusillades, but the
Right.
buffing that's going on is just awesome for swarms.
Yeah. I think this is definitely a good candidate for a support of maybe an attack ship, a bug ship swarm. A good captain, I think, that would go on this is probably Denatra. I mean, you're going to be paying for the faction penalty, but
Mm-hmm.
if everybody's going to be in range 1 anyway, you might as well give them another attack die. So
Yeah.
I think she works fairly well. The chat is saying Prelock could work very well supporting the Dreadnought. That's true. It'll give +1 to the Dreadnought. But yeah, there aren't too many combos out there that are bad for this. I think Denatra, Six Wing Patrol Ship. If everybody's going to be within range of 1 formation flying, as you said, watch out for Torpedo Fusillade, those Klingons that they're getting out there. Um, but yeah, I feel that the Prelock is a good support for a bug ship swarm.
And to jump ahead, it's a great support for a Klingon Dominion Grell swarm.
Mm, yeah. All right. So, card number 2. Or technically card number 3 in the pack. I combined 2 and 4 together. We'll get into that next here. So the next named card is the Arias, another Cardassian Kelin class. So you get 2 Keldins in the faction pack. 5/1, 4/3, 2 tech, 2 weapon, 1 crew slot. So the same crew bar, or the same slot layout as the last Keldin, but this one comes in at 22 points. So just a little bit more cheaper than the Prelock was. Now this Cardassian Keldin's class ability is if there are any Dominion and or Romulan cards equipped to this ship, add the cloak and the sensor echo actions to this bar. If there are only Dominion and or Romulan cards. When a friendly ship is within range 1, perform the cloak. When a friendly ship within range 1 performs the cloak action, this ship may perform the cloak action as a free action. All right, John, take it away.
Oh man. Well, this is a card. Who would have thought a Dominion ship you want in your cloaking fleet?
Right.
And not only that, now we have a 180 cloaker. So do a wide bank and then echo, and that 180 is just all over the place and just becomes really hard to fly around this thing unless you're like right behind it.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, the Keldins, they're one of the few ship classes in the game that's got that 4 bank, so you could 4 bank and then sensor echo yourself right into arc.
And if you get a free cloak action, now your battle stations and your target lockers are available for you.
Yeah. Absolutely. David.
Yeah, interface generator is a natural on this because hey, it's Romulan. But the tiers of a Klingon cloaking device make me really want a Romulan cloaking device to boost my defenses somehow.
Yeah.
I have high hopes for Romulan Faction Pack 2. Someday.
Someday. Yeah, I think that's a Romulan cloaking device would be amazing.
Yeah.
I think the Arias also works best with a certain captain. Well, there's 2 captains that come to mind. The first one is Laris.
Oh yeah.
So if you're going to sensor echo, you can get a battle station, and +1 attack die this game round. So that's gonna you get to cloak for free if someone next to you cloaks. Then you get to do a sensor echo. Then you get the battle station. Or the other good option, I think, is the Gold Ducat, not the one that comes in this pack, and I forget which pack he comes from. But the one where you can
Coronac.
Yeah, I think you're right. The one that you can perform an evade or a battle station is a free action. So then all of a sudden you're doing, your cloak action is a free action, and then you can do a battle station and then get the target lock. But yes, I think the Arias is definitely a staple that can go into a cloaking fleet. You just need to make sure that you only have Romulan and Dominion cards on it. All right, so the Arias, solid card in my mind. Let's get the next card out, which is going to be the generic Keldin. And the reason I combine these two is, well, because nothing really changed between the two. No new slot layout, I don't believe. But I also bring out the maneuver dial because the Cardassian Keldin maneuver dial got updated just a tiny bit. And by a tiny bit, I mean they got updated fairly. The update makes them fairly well, fairly good to use. And they got 2 white turns. Before they were red, now they're white. Keldins are coming in at 20 points for the generics. That's a wonderful, wonderful deduction for them. Does anybody want to say any more about the generics?
That's just not fair. 180 that's throwing 90-degree turns. at 20 points. Gee.
Yeah. One of the first matchups I had, uh, or rather, one of the first challenges was a Vorcha swarm against a Keldon swarm. And I was always Team Keldon.
Mhm.
Now I'm really Team Keldon. Like, zero doubt in my mind. I'm not saying Dominion's better than Klingon at this point, but I'm saying Keldons are better than Vorchas.
Yeah, I
Just
can agree.
it's the turn. That
Yep.
makes a huge difference.
Yep, it opens up, it makes that 180 arc just that much better. Because all you have to do is turn, and all of a sudden your entire arc shifts over. It just opens the playing field up that much more.
Yeah, that's always been the problem with the Gallers and the Keldons is they just can't turn. So you had a chance to get behind them, or at least keep just out of their arc while you were trying to turn yourself if you had a boat.
Yeah. So, Keldons got a huge boost in this pack. I wouldn't be surprised to see them getting popular here shortly. Alright, next card in the pack. Card number 5. We're talking Ducat's Bird of Prey. So this is dual faction, Dominion Klingon. It is a Klingon Bird of Prey class. Not a Burrell, but a Klingon Bird of Prey. 4-1, 3-3. It's got Tech, Weapon, Crew. Coming in at 17 points. Combat phase, if the ship is cloaked, place a battle station, scan, or evade token besides the ship, or increase the captain skill of the captain equipped to the ship by 3 this combat phase. Alright. David, why don't you take this one away first?
Well, naturally, there's a Gold Ducat that goes with this, but aside from that, I really like Klingon cloaking device on this.
Yes.
That just makes a ton of sense. And aside from that, you don't really have to do a ton to make this work.
No.
It's very well. It's a reasonably maneuverable ship, like all Klingon dials are. It's got a great ability, pretty good slot loadout. Brings some torpedoes, Klingon torpedoes, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a nice ability here, a nice little ship. So
yeah, John, what'd you think?
Something else you could do because it's Dominion, you can actually have a Klingon ship with nice 360 attacks, secondary weapons like the dorsal. What are they called? Dorsal.
Oh, from the
like the dorsal weapons array where you can shoot any direction 1 to 3.
Yeah.
So now you got your 90, you got torpedoes for your back 90, and now you've got all the rest covered.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just a brutal Klingon ship. Yeah.
Yeah, the chat said the ability is amazingly flexible, and that's true. I ended up running the Ducat's Bird of Prey in this last season for Fremont Reformation, and it was fairly effective at what it did. And a lot of people targeted it first, that's okay.
Yeah.
And I used the ability to raise my captain skill +3 at the start of the combat phase every round. That's what it was. That's what I used it for.
I mean, what you can do is have Martok on another ship. He gives Dukat another action, and then you bump Dukat to an 11, so he shoots earlier on his own ship.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of good things that you can combo in the ship, but I think the Gold Dukat that we get to in this pack is probably the best. You could do the free action Gold Dukat too, so you're getting two actions with it. You can get your battle station target lock. Yeah, Gold Dukat's Bird of Prey, great ship for the pack. It's going to be a problem. People are going to play it a lot, but I believe it's good.
Yeah, and the timing's fantastic because placing a token at the start of the combat phase is so different than free action. It just can't be stopped.
That's true too.
And it tends
And
to
you could-
circumvent a lot of things that remove tokens.
Yeah. What were you saying, John?
Oh, I'd say you don't have, if you cloak an earlier round, you don't have to worry about bumping. You can perform that come about and still get your token. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to, and I've got it in here just because it is important to talk about. But that's going to be the generic version of the Klingon Bird of Prey, which is Dominion Klingon dual faction. It is the Bird of Preys are now priced down to 13, the same as the Burrell, even though they are air quotes different than the Burrells. 4132 tech weapon crew. I don't think we really need to say more about it. Just that it exists, it's a thing we have, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it in a swarm fleet of some type. So the last ship that we get in this pack, the last named ship, is the Vitar, a Cardassian Galler class, 4144. Action. Oh, I'm sorry, tech weapon crew 22 points. Action. All other friendly Dominion ships within range 1 to 2 may perform an action on their action bar as a free action. Whoa. John, how about you take this one away first?
So there's a Jimidar ship, I think it's the card pack, where after it performs a target lock, it can target someone and give another Jimidar ship and give it a target lock. Now it's going to get this free action as well. And then all your other stuff still get, 13-point Burrell Swarm, Dominion Swarm is awesome, but then there's also all of this buffs that the Jim'Hadar ship, that the bug ships are going to be giving each other or giving themselves.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to fighting Dominion. You do Dominion pure with these last couple of packs. It's going to be brutal. I mean, they were tough before. They're one of the big three, but man.
Yeah, it's just going to make Benjamin Sisko from the Federation pack even more viable. David, what'd you think?
Yeah, I feel like there's a death by 1,000 actions fleet that can be done. You bring in the Prakash, so if you're within range of a friendly ship, you can immediately perform one of the actions on your action bar as a free action, and then you get the Vitar handing out stuff. What John said with the Fourth Wing patrol ship, handing out another target lock, Martok to give away another action. I think there could be this, like, yeah, I'm gonna take about 20 actions and then it'll be a combat phase.
Yeah, that's an interesting fleet to think about.
I don't know how viable it is, but it's certainly annoying and yet productive because you're accomplishing a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Just ultimately, can you kill with it? And I don't know. I haven't theory crafted it out, but there's something there, maybe.
Yeah. The chat recommends Goldemar, who supports Jem'Hadar bugs.
Yeah.
He's an option you can put on this if you're going to run a bug swarm.
If you want to be really ironic, put Cure on one of your ships and give everyone a target lock.
Kira.
There we go. I think, yeah, I think there's something to that. You can definitely see how many. It'd be funny. It'd be interesting to see somebody create that fleet just to see how many actions they can take, or at least how many tokens they can collect. One of everything at that point, I suppose.
Bring in some Vulcans.
Yeah.
Just give myself some chills. All right.
Okay. Let's get the next card up. It is the just the generic Cardassian Galler class, 4143 tech weapon crew. Just really showing it off because the discount down to 17 points. Really, the generics are what the generics are. So with that, we move into our first captain in the fleet. And I'm actually going to show off the captain and admiral sides at the same time here. So we've got somebody who is definitely missing from the game. The only man to ever retire from the Obsidian Order. Enabran Tain. So his abilities, he's a captain skill 8, plus 2 admiral, got an elite talent slot holder, and he is 5 points. The ability is you do not pay a faction penalty when equipping a card to this card to a Romulan ship, and then free action for the captain, and then free fleet action for the admiral. Discard 1 Dominion crew equipped to this ship and place 2 time tokens on this card. Perform an attack with this ship's primary weapon -1 attack. Okay, so we've got ourselves kind of like an Admiral Worf, just a modified version of it. David, why don't you lead on this one?
Yeah, so obviously a solid ability, right? Let's not quibble over that. Ways you want to keep crew around. Wayun 6, obviously going to be solid. Shroud, certainly going to be a nice way to get another use out of your Dominion crew. Lots of Shroud, even better. Though expensive physically to buy. In a tabletop simulator world, not such a big deal.
Yeah. No barrier there.
Yeah, no barrier to entry. Now, as far as making it count, or having a nice cheap Dominion crew, I always recommend Elam Garrick. Make that bonus attack count for more.
Yep.
So,
You definitely get a little bit of thematicism there.
Yes, that too.
Bonus points on that one. John, what'd you think?
First thought was pair him on a ship with Ezri, and you can use his ability every turn.
Ooh.
As long as you've got the crew.
Yeah. That's a good point.
So,
Ezri with a couple shrouds and 1 crew. Yeah.
And if you want to be really jerky about it, additional phaser ray, so you get 2 attacks during the action phase, the activation phase.
Yeah, that works too.
I think one thought I had, and we had just seen, Joseph actually attempt to use it in the Fremont Reformation, but that was to pair the captain version of Enabran Tain with the admiral version of Worf from the Mirror Universe. So now you're getting 2 attacks in that activation phase.
Yeah.
I mean, that means Enabran Tain's going on a ship of hull of 3 or less, but there's ways to definitely buff the attack up. Meridor and Gornale as well.
Denatra. Yep.
Yeah.
So now you're looking at a ship that's going to, if you had additional phaser rays on it, it would do 4 attacks or additional phaser rays disable. Can't remember.
Yeah, it'd be 3
So
attacks.
3. Still.
3 attacks. Yeah. Still. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Joseph did pull this off pretty successfully in one of the games that I broadcasted for them, where he took out, I think it was a sphere. He was playing Sam, and he took out one of his spheres in the activation phase.
You could hollow communicator to do it again.
Ooh.
On another ship.
Ooh.
Either Tain or Worf.
Yeah.
Not both, because it's unique now.
Thankfully, it's unique now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Enabran Tain's ability is interesting, and I mean, it could cause some trouble when paired with the right cards. I don't really think there are any kind of weaknesses to it. I mean, you could try and Goldemar it out if you have it, but really, yeah, yeah, really, if he's on a Dominion ship, they don't have that many crew slots. So it really depends on how many copies of Shroud you're going to bring.
And then they don't have that many tech slots.
Yeah. So I think it's good that he's kind of limited in what he can do, but
Yeah.
I don't think he's terrible. The
Well,
plus
they do.
+2 Admiral is always good, by the way.
It is.
All right. So the next captain in this pack is Goldemar, skill 4, 2 skill captain. Combat phase. Target all friendly ships. Place all Aux power tokens beside all target ships besides this ship. Range 1. Alright, John, how about you lead on this one?
All right. Vec. So I was thinking of that's great for all your friendly ships. Like he's Janeway's best friend and things like that. But he's going to load up at Oxes, so he's going to need probably, going to go cross faction here, but he could use check off so he can clear faster with nice maneuvers. If another ship has inspiring to help him out, help clear him as long as he can stay in range.
Yeah.
And then Ox control room, another way to just get rid of some of those Oxes or not have to place the Ox against the ship or by the ship.
Yeah, those are all viable options. David, what'd you think?
Yeah, I kind of like just throwing him on the tiny prize and saying, Ox power?
Wow.
What Ox power? Yeah.
Yep, the chat just
this.
pointed that one out.
Yeah. I will note there's a core from Blood Oath that does something similar, but only with friendly Klingon ships. And we talked about the types of things he'd be good on. The Avenger, clearing things off from the ISS Defiant or the Talkir. And you can use them for all of those things, but those Ox power have to go somewhere. So at the end of the day, it's what ship do you want never taking an action? And I kind of say, I'll pick the ship that can still take an action.
Yeah, Tiny Prize is a good pick. I think the Avenger is a good pick for this one, because the Avenger wants the Ox. I think he's paired. He's definitely paired well outside of the Dominion faction. Just to eat up all those Oxes, if you're going to run an Ox heavy fleet. Yeah, he's a good captain. Captain skills 4. I mean, that's definitely representative of his skill level in the show. Because let's be honest, he got outsmarted by both Chakotay and Picard. So, not the smartest Cardassian on the board, but definitely an interesting ability to say the least.
Yep. He is good if you're swarming him with Gallers and Cardassians. He is good to let them take their no, they'll lose their actions. But I was going to say take their red turns.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, they'll lose their actions, but at least they're clearing them next round. So, or for the next round.
Yeah, because he activates in the combat phase.
Right.
Oh, interesting.
But if you have to make the red turn anyway, at least you don't have to be stuck thinking of green the next round.
Yeah. Okay, so the next captain in the pack, card number 12 is Tauren. And I was thinking about this the other day. I actually watched the Define episode where the Maquis stole it with Thomas Riker. And they mentioned a Tauren, and I thought that's where I had heard him be there before, but they actually never showed his picture. So I don't know if this is an actual screen grab of just some random Cardassian or not, but that's neither here nor there. Tauren, skill 6, elite talent slot, 4 points. Action, choose a faction and target all friendly ships, range 1 to 2. The target ships roll +1 attack die and +D1 defense die against the ships of the chosen faction this game round. Well, this ability sounds fairly familiar. David, how about you take this one away?
Yeah, I can stick him on the Prelock
Hmm.
or one of those Jem'Hadar ships, and we've got this roll more dice fleet. Um, I mean, he works okay in tandem with Denatra as well.
Yes.
And I mean, yeah, he's a mini Ahab Picard, but nowadays with so many good Picards around, maybe now I can choose a different Picard, and I've got Gold Tauren, who can be a little more flexible. While he's in action to get this, he's still a bubble. Though he
Yeah,
doesn't benefit his own ship, which is a little bit of a bummer.
that's true. John, how about you?
Well, unlike Picard, who I do think he would pair with like in Together Fleet, he gets to choose. He can change his faction.
Yeah,
Yes.
So if you wipe out that faction, you can switch him to the other whatever's left.
that's true.
Yep. So the first thing that I thought of, I thought he was similar to another card, and it turns out he's an exact copy of Task Force, the
Oh,
Federation Elite talent. He's just the Dominion copy of it with the skill, but it's the same range, it's the same action. So now you trigger both of those on two different ships, and those ships are rolling +2/+2 this round against that faction.
wow, he's right.
And then you put Salatrell on one of the ships, choose the same faction, and she's shooting at skill 10 with +2/+2.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Yeah, that's
And then,
pretty good.
yeah, and like David said, you have Ahab Picard. Now you're just, this poor faction is just screwed.
That's true. I think he can definitely go into a fleet with the Vitar. That way, the Vitar can give him an action. I wouldn't make him the captain of the Vitar. As David said, the Prelock might be a good choice. Although I don't think the Prelock benefits its own ship either. So he's definitely giving out attack dice. Throw Saltrell, Denatra. Yeah, I think that could be an interesting fleet right there, all on its own. You got Saltrell on a ship. You got Denatra on a ship. Tauren on another ship. You got the Vitar, the Prelock. Maybe you can throw the Arias on since Saltrell's Romulan. I think that'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what people do with that. Okay. We're cruising on this one. Now we've got a card that was teased very early on. I think he was shown at 2019 Worlds. We have the Captain Dukat. When attacking, skill 8, 2 elite talent slots, 5 points. When attacking, during the modify attack dice step, spend and evade and a scan token besides the ship. Convert up to 3 battle stations into 2 hits each. So he pretty much is converting 3 battle station results into 6 hits. And that's fairly crazy itself. John, how about you lead on this one?
Yeah. So the first thing I thought pairing him with was the Vulcan Intrepid, because it literally gives the evade and scan he needs.
Yep.
So I probably wouldn't put him on the Intrepid, but the Intrepid would be giving him his tokens and taking the Ox for itself. And
Yep.
I even think there's a card out there. I can't remember it. I saw it sometime where it can convert 2 hits into a crit. So now you could make him, instead of 6 hits, you got 4 hits and a crit. If like you're trying to get through their shields, give him Bohica. There's an extra hit. Now you got a blank going to hit. I think that's what Bohica does. Oh no, it's Bastards. No, you give him there's a card that turns a blank into a hit. So give him that. Now you got even better quality.
Yeah. No, I definitely I touched on the Intrepid Gold Ducat pairing when we talked about the Federation, or yeah, the Vulcan pack. It's too coincidental to me that they give a ship the exact tokens that Gold Ducat needs,
Yeah.
and is just handing them out like they're candy. Um, David, what'd you think?
Boy, solid, solid ability that basically means you should never miss, and you almost feel like re-rolling hits into try to get battle stations if you have a target lock with this ship. Um, yeah, I don't have a bad place for this. Yeah, he feels perfect on Ducat's Bird of Prey,
Mm-hmm.
but he also fits really well on a Keldon where he's got even more dice, or a battleship or a battle cruiser where he's got some defenses or some durability on him. Uh,
Yeah.
I would want to go put him on even crazier things, but he is faction locked, and that feels at least somewhat fair to me.
Yep, that is true. He's faction locked to Dominion, and I'm going to say that the chat is pretty good tonight because they are guessing everything, and they are right. Pair him with the Federation
Yep.
photon torpedoes.
Oh yeah,
You're converting your blanks into battle stations, and then all of a sudden the Intrepid's given Ducat, the tokens he needs to spend, and bada bing, bada boom, you've got enough. You can convert that photon torpedo hit into a fairly good alpha strike.
You could you this is how you circumvent rule of three, because if
Oh
you
yeah,
got a 6 torpedo strike, you get 3 natural hits and then 3 battle stations. Now you've got +6 hits.
yep.
yeah.
So it's a grand total of 9 coming in.
Right.
Yep. Or the chat's saying, or use a shield piercing weapon that can give you a sudden burst. It's just you just got to try and get those battle stations because I think there's what 2 of them on the dice.
Yes.
Um, one question was, do you get the effect of the scan token if you spend it? Because you're spending it during your modify, they haven't rolled their defense dice yet, technically. So in this instance, unless you had a second scan token, no, they would still get their one defense die.
Still worth it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But it is something you have to judge. If you only have one battle station, you probably aren't doing that. 2, you start to weigh it. 3, you're definitely doing it.
Three, you better be doing it. Um,
So,
I'll be honest with 2, I'm going to do it. At that point, because I'm definitely going to pair him with Gold Ducats, Bird of Prey. I'm going to increase his captain skill, so he's going to be firing generally towards the top of the round. Because he's going to be increased by 3, which puts him at 11.
yeah.
I'm going to use it.
You want to be real jerk? Give him chronoton torpedoes or put him on the Bashar and just ignore shields.
Ooh, well,
You're
he's
throwing,
he's
yeah.
he's faction locked to Dominion.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You won't be able to get the. That's right. You wouldn't be able to get the. You'd have to pay a lot for those chronotons, but it would go through.
Yeah. Isn't there a Dominion card that converts a bit to a battle station or a hit? Chat asked if there's a Dominion card that converts a hit to a battle station.
I'm on it.
Okay, I can't think of it off the top of my head if there is one. But while David's looking at that, let's clear the board. Let's get the next card out. Ducat overall, I think he's going to be a good captain. You may see him in my build.
He's gonna be a tier 1 captain.
Yeah.
No.
No question.
No. Breenade converts blank to hit. Bohica converts blank to hit. Jem'Hadar first converts a battle station into a blank. Or sorry, yeah, converts a battle station into a blank evade, or a hit.
Hmm.
So no.
Yeah, so it was Bahika I was thinking of just to help Dukat get another hit. There was a blank floating around, but yeah,
Yeah.
But then you need that battle station token,
true. It's true.
which you're probably not going to have around if you have Dukat.
Mm-mm.
I mean, you might, but then it's probably more defensive rather than offensive.
What? Well, I mean, yeah, you have to work at like have the Intrepid give him to cut his tokens, but then use his bird of prey to get that extra battle station.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If
But
you don't,
you do have to work at it. Yeah.
because you want to make sure you have to be cloaked, and then that's if you don't want to sensor echo into a target or a firing arc.
Yeah, not worth it for just one extra hit probably. And he's giving you potentially 6.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's where I'd still rather target lock
Mm-hmm.
to have a chance to reroll for more battle stations.
Yep.
What a crazy thing to say. I want to reroll for more battle stations.
Yeah.
I don't want hits. I want battles.
All right. So moving on to the next card in the pack, we just finished up with the captains. Now we're moving into crew. We've got Goldemar, which technically he was a legate, but that's okay. Dominion faction locked. Combat phase. Discard this card. Target this ship and target all friendly Dominion ships. Range 1 to 2. Target all target ships. Roll +1 attack die this game round. He costs 2 points. Boy, oh boy, John. What do you think?
You want to keep. He's not in action, so you want to keep him around. So Wei Yun and Shroud again.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Get some replay value.
Shroud and Wei Yun. Yeah, absolutely. He fits into that fleet where you're handing everybody attack dice. David.
I was going to say the same things. There's not a ton you need here. Obviously, you run it where you have a whole bunch of Dominion ships, and I think they're really pushing Dominion pure play. Maybe not everything pure, but Dominion pure seems to be viable and have the combos here.
Oh yeah, super synergistic.
Very thematic.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that they chose to focus on the Cardassians themselves versus the Dominion as a whole. I've never been a fan of the Cardassians being lumped into the Dominion to begin with, but that was a mistake made early on.
Yeah, it was.
All right, yeah, Goldemar. There's really not much to say. Shroud, as you guys said, Wei Yun is the combo there, and he's definitely the strength is going to be in that fleet where you're wanting to hand attack dice to all your ships around. He can negate the -1. Well, no, because he's combat phase, so he's not going to negate the -1 from Tane. But yeah, he's just giving everybody +1 attack die. I believe himself too. Yeah, target this ship and all friendly.
Yeah, so that's helpful.
Yeah. Next card in the pack, number 15, Goldemar, 2-point crew. Increase the captain skill of the captain equipped to the ship by 2. When a friendly ship attacks with a secondary weapon upgrade, target that ship and place 2 time tokens on the secondary upgrade being used. The target ship may reroll up to 3 attack dice this attack. Range 1 to 2. Okay, so I'll start off by saying the Dominion, they needed a skill boost of some kind from some of their lower skilled captains. I think that's great. The second ability kind of confused me a little bit. But David, why don't you lead off on that one?
Yeah. So my first thought is the 8 dice photon torpedoes of the Dominion. And then I'm going, well, but those are discarded. And
Yeah.
I'm just not sure that this works. In fact, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. And everything that I want to make work is a discard. And it's not that Damar's bad. I'm just
No.
having a tough time figuring out where I want to get rerolls of 3 attack dice and lose that weapon for 2 rounds. And I know there's ways I can mitigate time tokens on my weapons. Arsenal comes to mind, and there's plenty of other things. But yeah, I'm having a tough time getting the combo to click. I like the captain skill boost. That aspect's really good.
Yeah, I don't think the minion really needed that.
They do. Because their highest captain skill is I think they have a couple of 9s, but it's like the changeling. The founder.
Oh,
And
yeah.
maybe a Wayoon.
Yeah, Wayoon. Isn't there a Wayoon 9, I think?
No, it's an 8.
Nah,
Yeah, Wayoon goes 6, 7, 8.
there we go. Chat's asking maybe volley of torpedoes. I don't have that. I don't have that card pulled.
Maybe
We can take a look. In the meantime, John, what do you think of the card?
No, volley's the discard.
Oh,
Yeah, it's hard because unless you use something like Balana's codes or whatever, you're at least putting. I mean, you can't put it on a discard weapon, so you have to put it on a time token weapon. So now you're putting 2 more time tokens on the weapon.
Yeah.
So you're looking at 4 rounds, or usually 5 rounds, not being able to use it. Well, 5 time tokens. I mean, if this is a weapon that's only probably gonna get used once, like I'm just scrolling through and Plasma Wave for the Dreadnought.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's only a range 1, but it's a 360. All ships in 360 get hit. So that's probably one you're only going to use once anyway, because no one's ever going to be in that position again. So who cares if it gets 2 more time tokens on it, and you get some quality. It's like, it sounds like a good ability, but I keep looking and looking, and I'm just not seeing the thing.
I'm
just not seeing a weapon that doesn't need anything either.
Yeah.
If you're disabling it, I don't want time tokens on it. If I'm putting time tokens on it, I don't want more time tokens on it. If I discard it, I can't put time tokens on it anyway. So
yeah, the chat's saying we're kind of going to treat Damar as an extra insurance in a tight spot. I think that's true.
Mm-hmm.
But I might have had a small epiphany on my just sitting here looking at it, and I think the combo that makes the most sense to me is having him on a ship, probably Gold Ducat's Bird of Prey, with Gold Ducat, and then let me see if I can get these pulled out here. So we want the Gold Ducat from this pack on Gold Ducat's Bird of Prey, with the Intrepid in the fleet, and then we can use Federation photon torpedoes. And if we don't get the battle stations, if we get battle stations versus, well, I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
I was thinking of Fed torpedoes too, but that's that's 2 time tokens and to disable.
Right, because I mean, so, you're gonna come into combat because you're gonna be out of range, and then you're coming in, so you may not get another shot off, even if you have a way to quickly re-enable those torpedoes without using an action.
Yeah.
So time tokens in that case might be worth it because you're spending the target lock to fire the torpedoes.
If Lozier's on your ship to absorb that disable, then you only have to deal with the time tokens. Yeah. So I just did a quick scan, and there's probably more, but the only one that came in my scan that was a weapon that didn't require anything except drone tokens was biomolecular torpedo. So that one might be nice to get the rerolls on because it's a star. It's your primary weapon value. And for board ship, that's usually what's on a nice one that's 5, 6, whatever.
Oh,
So
that's true. Chat.
that
Well, go ahead.
yeah, that it'd have to be something like that. If there were good weapons, I would seriously consider pairing him with Martok on the Dominion on the Ducat's Bird of Prey
Mhm.
instead of Worf. It's not as good a skill as Worf, but he has that extra weapon ability. But I'm not finding a great weapon combo yet.
Chat is saying Alliance dorsal phaser array with Arsenal and Kalana, or Arsenal or Kalana, can benefit from Damar, because that dorsal phaser array is not a
Yep.
disable or a time token.
Yep.
So that's a good. I think that's probably a good weapon for that. I think Kalana is a good choice too. Kalana is. I think she's cheaper than Arsenal at that point, depending on what ship you put her on.
Even simpler quantum torpedoes
Mm.
would work because most of the old ones are disabled and they don't come with quality. So
Yeah.
it's at least somewhat of a buff there.
Yeah, chat's saying with my Gold Dukat Federation torpedo idea, I mean, you could roll 2 battle stations and the rest are hits, and then you could re-roll one of those hits and try and get another battle station to get the 3, which is something a madman would do, I would think, but I think it's worth the risk.
But how many times have you been in that situation where you just it's the last 2 ships, and you need that one, and you roll 1 hit short of taking them out before they get to attack you?
Yeah,
And it might be worth it. You know what? I'll just take the Damar roll because I'm not going to kill you anyway if I don't take it.
That's true.
So
yeah, I mean,
fringe case, but
the odds are pretty good if you're going to roll a blank or a battle station, because the Fed torpedoes are going to turn that to a battle station either way if you roll a blank. So in that case, it really doesn't matter what you roll. Yeah. So okay, Damar, I think he's good. There's a spot for him somewhere. I think he'll find it. Okay. The next card, I'm going to put a warning out there now. There's been a lot of talk about this card. I personally don't see it the way some other people do. But that's me. So we're talking about Tora Zial. Crew, 5 points, Dominion Bajoran, which means she's also Federation. When defending, during the compare results step, target the attacking ship and remove this card from the game. That's at range 1. Cancel the attack. This ship may make an attack against the attacking ship with its primary weapon with -1 attack die if possible. David, let's lead with you on this one.
That's the sigh of a man who doesn't want to go in the deep end of the shark-infested waters.
Yeah.
So I played a lot of Rebellion in my day, and Rebellion is a similar card. Minimizing the dice coming in at you, getting an attack back at your opponent. And Zial reminds me a lot of Rebellion. Different slot, slightly different effect, getting to fully cancel the attack rather than just mitigate the dice coming in or minimize the dice coming in. And I think there's some good stuff to Zial. Naturally, you'd want to boost her range up so that she's not just absorbing a range 1 attack, but if you bring Uhura in, Kelvin Uhura, she's getting range 1 to 2. Yeah. I'm with you. I don't see the doom and gloom here. I don't think this is spelling the end of the game, especially with a remove from the game. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. How about you, John? What do you see?
I like it. I actually would put Rebellion. You know what? I'm thinking the Mirror Defiant, so you don't have, so you can put Rebellion and her on there with no faction penalty.
Mm-hmm.
You put Rebellion and Torah on there, so now, no, you're canceling attacks, so Rebellion doesn't happen if you use ZL. But you give them additional phaser rays, and ZL gets 2 counter attacks when she cancels the attack on her.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you don't use her, you use Rebellion instead. You use one or the other. And then if you want to be a real jerk, you stick Tasha on that ship too, just in case they get through Rebellion. And because that's the classic combo is Rebellion and Tasha. No one wanted to attack that ship.
Yeah, that's true. Chat's pointing out new phaser cannons could work because that's a 2 attack. Yep, and the chat's also hitting on the Odo Victorian Spy cloning facility, where you're going to get multiples of this card.
Oh yeah, she can be cloned because she's Dominion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the downside to doing that, to copying her with Odo Vendorian Spy cloning facility, if you use them all in the same turn on different ships, they're all going to be discarded. They're all going to be removed from game.
Yes.
Granted, whoever's facing that fleet, it's not going to be super fun. It's definitely something that can be done. It's not something that I want to face. But I don't think it spells doom or gloom either for the game. It's a combo like anything else.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to face it, take 2nd to 5, so at least you can kill one of them. And then what you could do is take Changeling Infiltrator and copy Torah for yourself.
Yeah.
Copy ZL and have your own copy of her, and then put her on another one of your ships. So at least you're getting.
Yeah.
As someone who played and initially ran the warp jump fleet, the infamous Peter Smith, the 2nd place world's warp jump fleet. I ran it first. I know what it's like to inflict a whole bunch of you can't attack me for about 45 minutes on my opponent. That's what this does, and it's not fun, and I'm sure something will be done, but
yeah,
you know
I'm
what?
Sure. I mean, it's not fun for either
You
player
live.
at that point.
No, it's not. It's a terribly boring game.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be slightly more exciting because at least the player running ZL gets to shoot back.
Oh yeah.
With warp jump, no one's shooting. It's just jump.
True.
So it's even worse now for the player facing off against this.
Yeah. I guess there's that.
Predator's pointing out projected stasis field with Torah ZL could be good. I mean, I could see that.
Yep.
I don't know.
I mean, there are counters.
She's win defending.
Hitting Zial's ship with diplomacy shuts her down pretty hard too. But
yeah,
you also can't nip away at her. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't have the answers.
No, I mean, if we're gonna look at it from this point of view, she's a strong card with not many weaknesses. She's 5 points. You're going to get to use her once. Of course, if you clone her, that's other stuff outside of what I'm describing now. 5 points, depending where you put her, for a range 1 cancel and attack. I mean, she's kind of worth it. Strong card, not many weaknesses.
Yeah. Figure out how to shoot her at range 3.
Yep. That's what I was going to say. You got an Alpha Striker at range 3 and take her out.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a part of the game is, the psychological nature of, they're running this, so that's the ship I need to target. So you could bring her on a fleet as a distraction. She's a very costly distraction, but
Mhm.
that's a thought.
So that is going to hurt the Borg, though, unless they're bringing like mag charges or something. You don't
Yeah.
want to be Borg and see Uhura and Zial on a ship.
No. All right. Let's move on from Zial. She's got a lot of airtime now.
No controversy with that card.
No.
No.
Not here. All right, next card in the pack is Corinas. Crew, 3 points. Action: disable this card and place an Aux power token beside this ship. Target a minefield. Remove the target minefield from the play area. Range 2 to 3. We've got another way to remove minefields, gentlemen. Something.
About time.
Yeah. John, how about you lead on this one?
I think this is the easiest way to remove a minefield now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she wants to pair with a Vec. She wants a Vec in her fleet to take that Ox away.
Oh yeah, somewhere in that
Or,
fleet.
yeah, or the classic Who Wants an Ox Avenger. So if you want to pay the penalty, put her on Avenger.
Oh yeah.
Or enter Tiny Prize, right? So it's the same. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, David, what do you think?
Yeah, I didn't get as far as the combos. I just went, yep, good ability. I am happy to be able to get rid of my opponent's minefields or even my own minefield if it starts bugging me. More so like a Verteron pulse trap bugging me. Not so much cloak minefield. I don't care about that.
Oh, that's right.
That's
It's
a good
any
point.
minefield.
Yeah, it's a minefield token.
Yes.
Good point.
So, right, it's not just cloaked mines. It's pulse trap. It's whatever new thing they come out with in 2023 that uses the token.
Yeah.
Coronos will be there to get rid of it.
That's a good point because obviously they're building the new stuff with synergy between themselves. If you just look at Intrepid and Dukat, so you're right. Who knows what tokens are coming out soon? Maybe we'll get some new antimatter mines.
Yeah. One pairing that I do see here with Cornus is the new Bashir. He's going to, especially if you're facing a fleet that's bringing multiple mines. Or you got a fleet that's laying Verteron Pulse Trap and a Cloaked Minefield. You use Julian Bashir to take the disable card off her, then you can use her again as long as you don't have that Aux power. So there's multiple uses. Chat saying you can hide her under Damon Solak, so she can become one of those Swiss Army knife type of cards that you bring just in case.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
I was about to bring that up, or even under like cryogenic stasis.
Oh yeah,
where you don't have to bring her in right away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another choice. You put 2 cards face down and you flip up a choice.
Sort of like debt codes under DNA encoded messages.
Yeah. So this one's much cheaper.
Yeah.
I like the Solak play better. Don't get me wrong, but
right.
Coronos coming in under cryostasis, because then you're still hiding a card and they don't know what it is, so there's that psychological mind game aspect to it.
Yeah. Because let's see, before when I'm building, I'm hiding 2nd and 5 and Deanna Troy under Solak. Coronos is definitely a interesting choice to put under him now. I kind of like it. Especially if you know the players bring in cloaked mines or some kind of mine token shenanigans.
Yeah.
Let me get Solak out here. Here we go. Yeah, I like it. I didn't realize, I guess my first reading of the card, I didn't realize it was the token itself. So that 100% changes the view of her for me. It puts her in another tier for me at this point in crew.
Yeah, I was looking at Minesweeper because that's the other Dominion way of getting a minefield, but it does say minefield token, so it would work against Verteron, but you have to roll for it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a chance it won't work. Yeah, she's the simplest minefield remover in the game, I think.
Yeah. So definitely good find there, chat. Solok is, I think she's perfect under Solok. Okay, let's clear the board again. And next card. So that is it for our crew. Next card in the pack is the first elite talent that we get. It is 1 per ship. Dominion Captain locked. Obsidian Order. Each time an opposing ship within range spends a battle station, evade, or scan token, range 1 to 3, place a token of the same type besides this ship. And it's a cost of 5. John, what do you think?
So the first card that popped in my head was have on a friendly ship have Borg Janeway, because then she's going to get the action when they place the token, and Obsidian Order gets the token when they spend it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't care about resource retirement and you're willing to spend the points, you could put Janeway on a ship with a Cardassian captain who can take the talent, and now that ship is getting the Janeway token and then getting it back when the opponent spins it. It's super silly because it's a ton of points, but yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're getting 2 ships sort of getting that token synergy from the opposing ship.
Yeah, I mean, well, before I go on anything, David, what do you got?
This really does start to become about what your opponent's running. If you think your opponent's going to be running a lot of Vulcans, thus they might be spending scans as something else, then this becomes even better. I think you want this on about as low of a captain skill as you can get, so that you have more chances to be attacked, thus more opportunity to get tokens and then use them. Because scan tokens on a Dominion ship after you've attacked are pointless.
Yeah.
Battle stations, for the most part, aren't going to do you any good. The evades will help, but again, then you have to be the one pulling their evades off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you can get this down on like a skill 5 or 6 captain, you're probably going to be benefiting more than on like a skill 9.
Yeah.
Well, the nice thing is they don't have to attack you. They just have to attack something in your range. But you do want like skill nothing, so you can just absorb tokens.
The chat just pointed out something that I find fairly funny. It's the Obsidian Order against the Sao Paulo. Each time it's spending its battle station token. Because Obsidian Order just says each time an opposing ship. So there's pretty much it's almost like 2 infinite loops running.
So you want to put this on Ducat's Bird of Prey, so you can have a battle station when you're cloaked, when you're defending as a cloaker.
Yeah. Yeah, that could work. One captain I think that pairs well, and this is totally if you're trying to break the faction locking, is Lore. Just because he breaks whatever faction lock you have. I mean, he doesn't care about factions. So now you take Lore and you can put an Obsidian Order on any ship. He's skill 7. I think David's right. I think Obsidian Order definitely goes on a lower skilled captain. And let me look.
And not only is this a counter to Sao Paulo, but it's also a counter to the Worf Battle Hardened combo.
Yeah.
So it looks like the Cardassians are countering Boldly Go, and they're either countering or taking advantage of Live Long and Prosper. So it's some weird rock, paper, scissors going on here.
Yeah. I think Obsidian Order combos well with a Golevec from this pack because granted you're taking all the Ox
Yeah.
powers in the combat phase, but moving in the future, if you're not shaking all those Ox powers quickly, Obsidian Order at least gives you some way to grab some tokens from somebody.
So you just have to put Obsidian Order on Garrick or something to get that talent slot.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But if you do that, Avec's perfect because he's a low skill, like David said, and he doesn't need to take actions. He doesn't care about. He wouldn't need to worry about getting actions back.
Yeah.
Goldemar is also another good option. Skill 4 captain with that talent slot. And his ability, when attacking a ship whose captain has a lower skill number than Lamech's, gain an attack die. Now that's going to be tough to pull off. But if you stack up on those tokens, then you actually get to pour on a pretty good attack.
Yeah. Chat just had another good one. $4.25. Gotta blow it up here. Vorta Commander. Low skill, free target lock. And then
You'll need Garrick again, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Garrick or an Admiral.
Right. So Tane. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, you could bring Tane. Tane's gonna pump you up to a 7.
Oh, that's right. The skill boost. He's such a good +2 Admirals.
Dang it!
The one time you don't want the one time you want Worf, Admiral Worf.
Dang it! He's too good.
Or Q, Admiral Q.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a Dominion captain, so you could fill that slot. All right, so all good options. Obsidian Order is a good talent. I feel. Again, I hadn't dawned on me the Sao Paulo Captain Worf loop that the Obsidian Order can all of a sudden join in on for the opposing player. Definitely, you can play this card against somebody who's bringing Gold Ducat. In the event that they get Gold Dukat's ability off, and then all of a sudden you're getting Battle Area Scan and Invade.
Would you, if Dukat spent both his tokens, would Obsidian Order get both, or would just get one of the tokens because it says A and or? I mean, you would get the choice, which is nice.
Yeah, I think you get the choice.
Yeah. I think you'd get all each time.
Okay.
Each time spends because you're spending.
Yeah. It's probably a good Worf question, but I can be swayed either way.
Yeah, because I think the way
that would be awesome.
I think the way Gold Ducat is worded, you're spending both tokens at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that's worth clarifying on Worf when we get there. No one knows when they're coming out of hibernation. So let's move to the next elite talent. We are talking card number 19, Supreme Tribunal. Unique. End phase. Place 4 time tokens on this card. Target an opposing ship. Place an Ox power token besides the target ship. Range 1 to 2. 1 point. Oh, David. I believe it's your turn to go first.
I mean, it goes nice with Brunt.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm trying to say something nice. Because I want to say why. But that leads down a different rabbit hole. So I'm going to say it goes nice with Brunt. Mirror Brunt. Let's put 2 Ox power tokens on somebody and actually make it hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good pairing. John, what'd you come up with?
Well, we can get that up to 4 Ox tokens if you have Positron Beam and Ferengi torpedoes.
Ooh, there we go.
So you're hitting attack. You're hitting combat phase, in phase again, and planning phase. So you're hitting 4 Oxes on that ship.
Oof.
It's a lot of points, a lot of cards and points, but they're all pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Ooh, and then we can use the tractor beam from the, I believe it's the Hirogen.
Oh, that's
card
brutal.
pack.
Oh no.
That's the worst
Oh no.
card. Oh.
No, that's great. So that then you target a ship and that treats all their whites as reds or their
Yeah.
greens as whites. So they will never clear that ox.
Oh, let me pull that
So-
because that's a
So now they have to put Chekhov and figure out how to clone Chekhov to every ship so they can have a shot at getting rid of some of these tokens. Oh, or they have a Vec take all the tokens off their ship.
yeah.
But the Vec ship's screwed, but give him Obsidian or somehow he doesn't care. That's a hard combo, though. You're building for a specific.
Oh, you're building
fringe
to
case.
shut a ship down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Tractor beam. I didn't even think of that one.
Or the other way to do it is you don't hit the one ship with 4 tokens, you hit 2 ships with 2 tokens, and you have 2 tractor two tractor beams. And then you're the biggest jerk. But
why stop at 2 tractor beams?
One for everyone. Yeah.
Because it's not like you're limited on Ferengi photon torpedoes. You can attack
or
every
positron
ship.
beam.
Yeah.
Heck, positron beam's not even ship unique. It's generic. So
Yep, generic
this
2 points.
is,
Yeah.
Yeah, for his
So
Prelock
run-
Tribunal, positron beam and tractor beam are now the best combo in the game.
Run the fleet captain that discounts your tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh man, what have we done?
What does Supreme Tribunal do to everyone?
Oh,
Yeah.
nothing. That was not the start of anything.
Yeah,
That's called you have one point left and you just want to toss it in.
The nice thing is
pretty
it is a
much.
talent, and that tends to be the hardest one to fill up. Or the one that, except for like that one Q talent, that's 1 point.
think fast.
Quick, think
Yeah.
fast, yeah. So this is, but 4 time tokens this is a once a game ability.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I wish it didn't have 4 time tokens. It seems like an odd time to put a 4 time token card in the game.
It's cool to see a different number of time tokens, 4,
Mm-hmm.
and we're seeing like 1s around here, but if it's gonna be 4, it's gotta have to be like a great ability, not a 1 ox. I mean, it's not an action. That's great. It's only 1 point. Range 1 to 2 is decent. Her can take that to 3, but it's 4 time tokens.
Yeah. Someone in the chat said Tiro Enidus, but Tiro targets crew. So the time tokens would have to be on crew, and Supreme Tribunal is a talent. Esri, I don't think Esri affects it either, because I think she's
captain and crew only.
Yeah. So I don't think there's really any way to minus the time tokens on the talent, but I think, as we pointed out, four time tokens on an elite talent seems a little rough. 1 point elite talent, no doubt.
It's playable because it's just a 1 point talent. If it was like any other slot or 2 points, it wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be worth looking at.
I feel like there's some way to mitigate those time tokens. It's from the Temporal Cold War Grand Prize pack.
Oh, you're talking about the
Benefactor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think Benefactor might be the only one that can move time tokens from any upgrade or any. Where is he? Oh.
Yeah, I think
he can
move up to 3 because he's got 3 mission tokens on the card, if I remember correctly.
Yep. So you could discard all 3 of them, so you only have to pay one token, 1 time token on Tribunal. So, or 2 of them, so you can do it in another round. 2 rounds.
That's what, a 5 point cost.
And it's a talent slot.
Yeah.
That's pricey.
Well.
Never said it was great, but it is an option.
Yeah, it's definitely an option if you've got
Yeah.
that spot and you need
And
the 1 point card.
yeah, and I think Benefactor is still the only card that can remove time tokens from an elite talent. I don't think there's been another one since.
There is another one.
There is.
Yeah.
Man, I can't remember it.
It's logic is the beginning of wisdom. Chat just
Oh
pointed
yeah,
it out.
there's no controversy with that one either.
So yeah, that's an option too. You'd have to have 2 elite talent
True.
slots, or maybe I think logic can target other ships, so you don't have to have it on the same ship. I don't think.
Yeah,
But you've got to at least make sure that the ship that you're targeting to move that time token has got an elite talent slot too, or an elite talent that they brought.
Yep. Well, I mean, yes, you're right. Yep.
So, weird place to see 4 time tokens in the game. I'm glad to see another number, as you guys said, but definitely a card to think about in a pinch. All right, so our next elite talent is unique interrogation. Cost of 2 points. Planning phase. Discard this card and target a crew upgrade equipped to an opposing ship. Range 1. Place 3 time tokens on the target crew upgrade. Okay. John, I think it's your turn to go first. I'm losing track now.
Okay. So, first thoughts, Ahura, get that to 1 to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Or any other, since it's nice it's planning phase, so it's not action. So if there's any other action cards that disable time token, kill crew like 2nd of 5 or something, I mean that's nice, but I'm sort of spitballing it. You know what?
Yeah.
At 2 points for range 1, it almost feels overpriced for a talent. Like I wish it was a 1 to 2 or a 1 point card or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Luckily, it's only 3 time tokens, but
I will say
still a lot for 2 points.
I will say the way that it works out, I guess Ahura you can't use, because interrogation is getting used the phase before you can activate Ahura.
Oh, you're right. She's activation.
Dang, that would have been good if you could use it.
Yeah, so now I really wish it was a 1 point talent.
Dang.
I mean, 3 time tokens is super nice to stick on like a super annoying, like throw if someone's using 2nd of 5 against you, if you can use it on them first just to block you, that's really nice.
Yeah. David, what'd you come up with?
I mean, I actually don't hate this because even with Ezri, you're getting 2 time tokens on a crew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then if you're running Tiro with this, you can keep them at 2. Even if they have initiative. So they'd go down to 1 and then you can say, hey, no, go back to 2.
Yep. Tiro was what I was going to bring up. So that was really the only combo I found.
And what's nice is it's... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I thought David had more.
Tiro with Ezri Ezri might actually stop Tiro.
I think so.
Is she removed 2 time tokens?
Well,
no, that's Bashir.
Because Tiro, you are adding 1 token. Oh, instead of removing. Yeah, but you're adding 1 token, and Ezri says when you would add 1.
Add 1 less.
Add 1 less. But then they wouldn't get to remove a token. So it would keep them stationary. So Tiro...
they would remove a token, right?
Yeah, I think they would remove 1 in the end phase. They didn't place 1.
Well, because
I think you're right. Tiro and Ezri cancel each other out, so it's just a normal.
Well, Tiro explicitly says add 1 time token instead of removing 1 time token.
Oh, you're right. The instead of.
Oh, okay.
So Ezri would take the instead of, and they would never lose their tokens.
Yeah.
Which is really good if they used a card like Natasha Yar needs tokens for rerolls, and you throw interrogation against it. Now she's got, even with Ezri, she's got 3 or 4 time tokens now. Well, maybe not 2 or 3, but
Yeah.
you're just making those. They used it once, and now you're just making it worse and worse.
Yeah.
So there's something there. I mean, the best thing is to interrogate Ezri.
Yeah.
And then not have to deal with her.
Yeah, her or Bashir.
And Tiro keeps her out of the game for the whole game. Yeah, keeps her done.
As long as you can stay in range.
Right.
Yeah.
But
he's one that you could use her on and extend it up to range 3. So
I think what we found is that Tiro has become way more useful.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, he was a fun card to play with, but now he's the exact counter to Ezri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Ooh.
That's a good thing.
Combo.
That's a good find. All right, so moving on to the next group of cards. So we've got our weapons coming up. Card number 21. It is 1 per ship, multiple dorsal arrays, 3 attack dice. It is locked to a Galler class only. Now, I will say that Steven Vandeventer, when he did the unboxing for the Cardassian Union pack, he did point out that the manufacturer or the printer made an error and put this 360 symbol on here. This is not meant to be here. All the copies, I believe, are supposed to be like that. So that is definitely the first errata that they came out with without explicitly saying we have an errata. So that's not meant to be there, so we just ignore it for now. Attack.
So it's just a primary arc?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. This card's not as good as I thought it was.
Attack. Place 2 time tokens on this card and target an opposing ship, range 1 to 3. Once per game round, if you hit an attack squadron with this weapon upgrade, you may perform an additional attack against the same target. 3 points. So we've got a Cardassian version of, upgraded phasers?
Mm-hmm.
David, what you got?
Yeah, even though it's like upgraded phasers, it's not nearly as good.
No.
I find myself wanting to stick this under Quark, except then I'd rather put weapon ports. And it just keeps me going, so why does this exist? And I don't have a great answer.
Yeah.
And I hate to be that way, because I know what this show's all about and trying to find the combos, but I have thought about this and really tried, and I can't. I cannot for the life of me figure out how to use this card.
Yeah, and I want to make one correction to what I just said because the chat is pointing it out. This card is a 360 weapon.
Oh, okay.
It's not. The icon's wrong because it says that it can only be placed on a ship with a 360 arc. That part's out, but the weapon itself is meant to be fired 360.
That's one of the good things, only good things about the card.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a 360 upgrade, a 360 lesser upgrade phasers is not terrible because those fighters get behind you and it's super annoying.
Yeah, that is true. I think what really hurts the card overall is it being locked to a Galler class. John, I don't know if you found anything for it.
I mean, it's a lot of work, but you can use Balana codes to take the 2 time tokens and then demar it. So it gets the 2 time tokens anyway, but it gets the rerolls.
Mm-hmm.
But you could do that with better weapons.
Yeah.
The faction lock is thematic, and I'm fine with that. But it shouldn't be the same price as upgrade phasers. It should be a 1 point card because of the lock. Maybe 2 points, but those time tokens hurt it too. So a 1 point. At least it's range 1 to 3, 360. That's cool. So maybe a 2 point card, but yeah, not a 3 point card.
Yeah, the chat's saying if your meta is definitely fighter heavy, take this instead of the Dominion dorsal weapon in your
Oh yeah,
fleet.
yeah, that's true.
Okay, sticking this on the Kraxen, because that's a Galler that I'm actually willing to bring in today's game. Not often, but every so often.
Mm-hmm.
And bringing a little bit of fighter protection on that for relatively cheap
Yeah.
is worth something to me. Plus, it's 360 coverage.
Yeah, I think that's really the only. I don't really think there are any major combos for this card.
I mean,
It's just
yeah,
it's a
maybe,
deterrent.
yeah, maybe if there's a Galler like the Traeger or Prakesh that have, well, not Prakesh because it's mirror, but they have 2 weapon slots. So while this is time token, you have another weapon like the dorsals to use or something. Yeah, but it's points and burning your slots.
Yeah, I mean this card could go in the Prakesh.
True, you just pay 4 points for a card you don't want to pay 3 points for.
Yeah, exactly. The chat's saying that Galler swarms have won tournaments in their meta before, so I mean it's definitely flavored to your meta for sure. That's not saying it's a bad card. It's saying that
Yeah.
we had trouble finding combos for it, which
Yeah.
again doesn't signal it's a bad card. It's just something that doesn't really need to be comboed. If your meta is heavy Galler, heavy fighter,
Mm-hmm.
you definitely take it. I mean, as the chat already said, you can take this instead of regular Dominion dorsals because this is a 2 time token card versus a disable. And
That's true. Yeah.
there's ways to mitigate the time tokens even. So yeah, not much more to go in on that one. So let's pull the next card out, and it is 1 per ship, enhanced resonance field grid. When attacking with the ship's primary weapon, during the deal damage step, discard this card and select 1 uncancelled hit. Deal the selected hit to the defending ship's hull. Okay. Well, John, how about you go first?
Um, it Ducat. You're gonna be guaranteed hits, and at least you're gonna put one right through the shields.
Yeah. Yeah, Ducat's a good one. Discard this card. So it's a discard for 2 points.
Yeah. And using a weapon slot, most ships have 1, maybe 2. So, well, if you Sakona this, at least it's free.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And you get your slots. So,
well, David, you got anything for this one?
Garrick. And I know that's a crutch I keep going on.
No, that's a good crutch.
This Garrick is meant for this because if you time it, Garrick will have that uncancelled hit. And then you are dealing that hit straight through to the hole. It works.
Yeah, I think it would have been better if the card said select 1 uncancelled hit or crit.
Yes, but for 2, I'm not going to be super picky.
Ooh. Chat's asking me if it would go good on the Vorn, and I love if you haven't seen my build breakdown video yesterday, I love me some Vorn. Yeah, this could work on the Vorn. It's not faction locked. And you're getting, especially if you're punching at range 1, where you're getting a crazy amount of dice. Especially if you take that Vorn build that's throwing 9 dice at range, or you've got 9 dice at range 1. And that's with Rule of 3 enacted. This could definitely help try and get those dice through. But I think Elam Garrick is definitely the way to go with this card, as David said. You're getting that one uncancelled because you have the same, you share a faction, and it's going straight to the hull. You'd have to have a lot of shields. Yeah. Okay. Oh, go ahead.
If you could pair it with some, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say if you could pair it with something that, if you could cancel their defense dice, so you're guaranteed that this hit, you're gonna have an uncanceled hit. Garrick does that. So,
Yeah.
like I was trying to think, it's just not faction lock. You put on a Borg ship with mag charges, but not a lot of Borg ships have 2 weapon slots. You'd have to play around with it. It's just not work. Yeah, Garrick's the best way to do it, or the easiest way.
The easiest way. Chat's wondering about maybe matching it with Admiral Decker to just get a hit on the hull.
I mean, that's one way. Shields? We don't care how many shields you have. We'll just carve you up from the inside.
Yeah, so that's definitely an option. All right, let's move on. Next weapon in the pack is 1 per ship. It is a phase disruptor array. It is Galler Keldon locked. When attacking with the ship's primary weapon, during the modify attack dice step, if the defending ship is within range 1 to 2, place 3 time tokens on this card and spin this ship's target lock token. Reroll any number of attack dice up to 2 times. Okay, so John, when do you lead?
I would put this on a ship with Car and get a 3rd dice that I roll 2 times. Reroll 2 times.
That's true.
And hopefully get his +1.
Oh yeah, pair him with Damar on a Dominion ship.
Oh yeah. There you go.
And you're pulling him up to 10. David, you got anything to add to it?
You know, this is one that it just seems to work. I feel it works better on Gallers because Keldons tend to want battle stations because they have it. Yeah. Gallers, for offensive quality, they don't have battle stations, so they're going to be target locking, and it just makes sense. Spend a couple of points and get that quality. 2 rerolls is pretty darn good quality.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the car pairing it with cars is a good choice. Any number. I mean, you're rolling any number of attack dice up to 2 times. Yeah, I think car is a good choice to pair it with. I thought about pairing it with the card that gives you multiple target locks, but I guess I didn't 100% think that one through because there's no need to have multiple target locks with this.
You can't put 2 target locks from one ship onto one ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I kind of like it with Dukat. Now you can double reroll and make sure, or at least hope to make sure, that you get 3 battle stations. Of course, then you're putting Dukat in a position where you have to try to get those tokens, and that can be tricky, but it's doable.
Yeah. The chat's asking if you could re-roll the dice that Car's already rolled.
I don't believe so.
No. I don't think so, because I think the twice means however you rolled them, it's just 2 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really,
I think with Car, if you spent a target lock, you could still re-roll one of the dice another time, but that's it. I think.
No. It's total.
No, because I think his dice is separate. If you re-roll it, if you pick that one die to re-roll, you can't. Well, I mean, car isn't not super not helpful. It's definitely something you can. If your meta is running high captain skill cards, you can throw car on a Dominion ship and boost his captain skill up. Really, he pairs better with Damar, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, he pairs the phase disruptor array to give you the +1, but in the end, you're really re-rolling all the dice. So
yeah, it's just a card that really doesn't need any help other than like the Lana's Codes or something, just so you don't have to deal with time tokens.
Yeah, time token mitigation.
Every weapon needs.
Yeah, time token mitigation is probably what you're going to want to pair with this.
I almost wish I could do some mixing and matching with this card and the dorsals, like swap the points, swap the icons. Although the 360 would be still great on that one, but like David said, this is a Galler, better for Gallers and Keldins. So if you can make the other card Galler and Keldin, you're making it better.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so that's it for our weapons. Now we're moving into tech. This is card number 24 out of 28. Doing good on time. So this is another 1 per ship. It's the Sensor Ghost. When defending, discard this card. The attacking ship rolls -1 attack die. If the ship is not destroyed by the attack, it may perform a Sensor Echo action as a free action using the 1 maneuver templates, even if it does not have the Sensor Echo action and or is not cloaked. Oh, action on its action bar and / or is not cloaked. So David, why don't you lead on this one?
Yeah, I like this on the battleship or the battle cruiser. You take some of the more unmaneuverable ships,
Yeah,
and you give them the ability to live a little bit longer, and they're probably going to survive the attack. So then they get to do a sensor echo.
Yeah.
Sadly, the Dominion don't have any of the large, or I guess medium base ships, the 2x2. But it's interesting. I mean, the Dreadnought would be okay with this, or even something like the Aldara, which gets to do a move in the activation phase conditionally, and then would get to sensor echo afterwards. Like, boy, that's a very maneuverable ship. So there's some cool things here.
Yeah. What'd you come up with, John?
So I kind of like it also on the Gallers and Keldins. The Keldins a little more because you can do those big 4 banks,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you're still just inside the arc, Sensor Echo outside that arc, but you have a 180, so they're gonna be in your arc, so you can just jump out of their arc probably. I had thought of putting this on Ducat's Bird of Prey with Sinon because he's Klingon, but I don't think it's going to work because I think this card's too restrictive. It forces the 1 template, and Sinon normally lets you echo with 1, 2, or 3, but because this card says 1, it's gonna the more restrictive rule usually wins.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Sinon will.
Excuse me.
No, you're good. I don't think Sinon will work in this case, unfortunately. I'm just reading the card again. Try to get my brain working here. The ship is not destroyed, so your ship's getting targeted. I mean, it's not faction locked, so it could be 3 points on a Borg ship to give it a sensor echo.
Ooh.
Because, I mean, you put it on a sphere, and then it's going to survive the first attack.
Yeah.
And then it can sensor echo forward if it needed to. If the attacking ship is just outside of range 2, you could put it on a sphere, take the range 3 attack, and then try to sensor echo and get it just inside of range 2 to maybe get an attack.
Could have some fun and put it on, say, Alpha Hunter to get 2 free echoes.
Yeah.
Or Seedless Warbird to get 3 free echoes, or not 3 total echoes.
Mm-hmm.
Ning Tao to do the echo. Well, no, that wouldn't. I don't think Ning Tao would work because of timing issues.
Right.
Oh, actually, it would work because it just says echo action, so you could do this echo and then come about.
Hmm.
It's weird being able to take actions during the combat phase, and they're actions and not, something else. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the chat says theoretically this could spoil bonus attacks from additional phaser array or phaser cannons
Mm-hmm.
because you can sensor echo yourself out of an arc.
That's good.
Laris likes this card. That's especially if you're getting attacked by a higher skilled captain. Because Laris is a 7. Let's see here. Well, they say adaptive shields can max out rule of 3. But yeah, for a 2-point discard to give you one free sensor echo when you need it, I think it's a pretty good card.
I thought of Lars, but I thought there was a timing issue where because it's combat phase, start of the combat phase, and it says if it performed an echo.
Oh, that's true.
So I there might be a timing issue with Lars.
Yeah, let me pull Lars.
I actually wrote him down and then I crossed him out, thinking no, actually it wouldn't work. And then I didn't even think Xenon wouldn't work either, and I crossed him out.
Okay. Yeah, combat phase. If the ship performed a sensor echo action.
Yeah, if it worked with Lars, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I don't think it does. I don't think it does.
I don't believe so.
It's a shame, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's get these cards off. Next card up is another tech. This is card number 25. Again, 1 per ship. It is locked to Galler Keldin class only. It's Iridium Alloy. When attacking during the modify attack dice step, disable this card. Convert 2 hits into 1 battle station. Or not 1 battle station. Man, 1 critical hit. So 1 crit. All right, John. How about you take the lead on this one?
So Dukat, obviously, because now you're turning a battle station into a crit. But if you leave it as 2 hits, it is a direct. It's like kind of like having a direct hit. So it's up to you. But that crit could be a warp core breach or captain injured captain or something. So you have the option, which is nice. But I was thinking Spock with fed torpedoes because that's converting everything into hits.
Yeah.
Or everything in the battle station. Spock turns them all into hits. Now you can get a couple of those into a crit. Again, it's that trade-off. Kind of like taking a direct hit and turning it into a different crit. So you wouldn't do it against someone's shields, but you would maybe do it against someone's hull if you're not going to kill them with your attack. I don't know. It's an option.
Yeah. I need to look something up because the chat. I was aware that there were 2 cards that got errated in this pack. They're saying this is the other one, and I don't remember the exact wording. So I'm going to mute myself real quick. David, if you want to talk about the card while I try to find the errata.
Sure.
All right, I'm going to mute my mic here.
Yeah, there's if I remember correctly, there's a mirror Captain Archer that says when attacking during the compare results step, you can place an Ox Power token beside your ship to convert one of your crits into 2 hits. So this is like this is the exact opposite of Archer. And it's kind of funny that you could conceivably run both of these and undo yourself. You could say, you know what, I'll take the crit for now and make a decision later. Because uridium alloy, you make the decision when you're attacking, and archer, you make the decision and compare results. And there's something to be said for how those dice work. I will say that Dominion, I think more than any other faction, have crew that do a lot of search the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Although I might be wrong.
I like that combo because if your shields, like, you use iridium alloy, you use the alloy to put the crit on, and you realize, oh, they cancel enough so it only takes out their shields. You can use archer to turn it into a hit and get at least a hit into their hull. But if you do see that you are going to take out their shields and have that one crit, you can just let iridium alloy do its thing, get the crit through their hull. So it's a nice little option there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So I got the wording. So uridium alloy is as follows: when defending during the modify attack dice step, disable this card. Convert 2 hits into 1 crit.
That's a massive change. Holy moly!
Okay, so that instead says, you know what? Oh, this is perfect on the Kraxen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me pull the Kraxen.
Because that says now I only need to sacrifice 1 shield instead of 2.
That's true. That's true. That is a huge change. I knew there was a second card that had an errata. I just couldn't remember which one it was. All right. Scaled up. Kraxen. Yeah, so the Kraxen is definitely good because then you're only transferring that 1 crit to the shields. 1 point tech. It's a disable. Not terrible to shred or to shed off. There's ways to get rid of it. I don't know if there's any other combos that you guys can think of with that change being implemented.
I need more prep time.
Right?
The Traeger is a Galler. During the compare results step, you may disable one of your shields to cancel 1 hit or crit.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah,
anywhere you could choose to cancel a crit. Yeah.
And if you do happen to take the crit, you have Ixtana Rocks. For an action, you can disable the Jem'Hadar to flip over all critical damage cards assigned to your ships or your ship. So it essentially is converting 2 hits into 1 hit for an action afterwards, assuming you survive the crit.
There's a resource, the damage control team. You spend an ox, take an ox from the card to cancel a crit, so you can actually turn these 2 hits into an ox.
Okay.
Essentially, yeah. But this is good because maybe you're down to your last 2 hull. You could convert it into the crit and just take your chances that you're not going to get a direct hit, and hopefully not stun helmsman either. But I'd rather take that than sometimes the dead
Then
ship.
Be dead.
Yeah.
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 So there's that option too. You're just rolling the dice for something better than a direct hit.
Yeah. I definitely like the Traeger.
Mm-hmm.
You can pair it with improved deflector screens. Does that get rid of that? Takes hit their crits out, doesn't it? Or is it hits?
Does, but
Yep.
I think it improves to.
Yeah, it's got a hull. Yeah, okay, because this is locked. So that idea doesn't work. The Kraxen. Yeah, you guys are right. The chat's right. The Kraxen can't directly use uridium alloy because of its ability. But you could put it on a friend. You could put it, if you're running a fleet of Dominion, You're running, say,
Keldon.
Keldins with Kraxen as support, then you could
Yeah.
you can try and take out 2 hits and eat that crit with the Kraxen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The Traeger was pretty good before. Both of these ships just got a lot better with this card.
I think
You could
Yeah.
run both ships and put it on each. Yeah, especially Traeger.
Yeah, the Traeger's the one that benefits from this the most.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a love letter to the Traeger. A couple other ships benefited from other cards in this pack. Like, seriously, every old Cardassian ship is look now.
Yeah, and I really like that. It feels like they're remembering some of the older ships that they have in the game, and they're actually trying to make them actively better. You know, wink, wink, whiz kids, give us some recosting on the named ships. That'd make them even better. But yeah, Iridium alloy, those Kraxen Traeger, I think that's probably the best spot for them. All right, another tech. Card number 26 in the pack. This is 1 per ship. This is Galler locked only, and this is Type 3 Galler class. Replace the shield value of the ship with its printed shield value +2. Alright, I know exactly what everyone's going to say here. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and put the stat specific ship right next to the card. And then
the Reklar?
Nope.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be the Prakash. Dang it.
The Traeger? I mean, those are good Galler class ships that do benefit from this.
Yeah. There's definitely one.
Actually, the Traeger does benefit from it. Because disabling a shield to cancel a hit or crit, the more shields you have, the more you get to use that effect.
Alright, I suppose I will put the Traeger back up here as well.
But yes, the Kraxen is the big winner here.
Oh, for sure. I think James Sonis just ran a fleet in the lower decks division for Fremont. I broadcasted, I commentated one of the games for them, and I thought his fleet was, I thought it was fairly ingenious, but he kind of quit while he was ahead, and I wish he hadn't. But he had Weapon 0 with a Kraxen in tow. So Weapon 0.
Oh, nice.
Kraxen was taking, sucking all the damage that the Weapon 0 was taking. And then, he had the Kraxen built up as many shields as he can fit on it. Type 3 Galler class, I believe, was used. So.
That would have to be.
Yeah, well. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember if it was legal. It was legal. So yeah, he had it on there.
Yeah.
And that's true. The chat's wanting me to point out that it's a replace.
It is.
So you can still improve on it from there.
Yeah. So you can get up to a 9 shield Traeger if you can find the extra 3 shields.
Yeah. Yep. So there's definitely.
Or I'm sorry, Kraxen is what I meant to say. But either one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys have any other combos for the Type 3 Galler, but I think the Kraxen and Traeger are pretty much the two.
Yeah. I mean, the Reklar does benefit from it because you're getting extra defense, an extra defense die every time you defend, and having more durability helps you out as well. So, if you look at it, just about every Galler has some kind of a defensive ability.
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing else, it's nice for the generic assimilated, because that's your 5 dice attack Galler, but now it's running 6 shields. It's got a little bit more life to it.
Yeah.
That's a good point too. That's a good point too. So yeah, I mean, it just helps all Gallers all across the board. That is a good card. All right, so the next card in the pack is unique, so 1 per ship, or not limited 1 per. It's unique. Legion crew module, Dominion ship locked. Add two crew upgrades to the ship's upgrade bar. 2 points. David, go ahead.
Well, Enabrin Tane loves this.
Yep.
And all those combos we were talking about earlier being a little crew tight, well, yeah, now not so much. If you notice, aside from Ducat's Bird of Prey, well, okay, I'll rewind there. The Arias and the Prelock, the Keldons, have 2 tech slots, but only 1 crew slot. Well, now they can have 1 tech slot and 3 crew slots.
Yeah.
It makes enough sense. There's not a ton of great Dominion tech short of Shroud. So if you want a variety of crew, you can do it. If you want to keep your Dominion crew around, you've got space for Shroud.
That's true.
Choice. Good choice.
The chat is saying Dreadnought. You get some crew on the Dreadnought.
There is that. A very easy way to get crew on the Dreadnought.
That feels scary.
So John, what'd you come up with for this?
My thought was Tane. This is built for Tane.
Yeah.
His favorite card. I mean, if nothing else, you just find the cheapest Dominion crew, no matter how good they are, and you just feed them to Tane's sausage maker. And yeah.
Yep. So Admiral or Captain Tane, it doesn't really matter. This is just a Tane card all around. I think it gives great flexibility to a lot of the Dominion ships out there. As David pointed out, a lot of them have a lot of tech slots, but not very many crew slots. Ducat's Bird of Prey is one of them that suffers. And I like this card for that, because I generally run crew heavy in my builds, and I do use this card in my build that's coming up for the Fremont Reformation group. So, Season 3, you'll seize it.
You know what? On the Dreadnought, because it has red turns, stick this and Duranidar in there. Now it doesn't have to take the Oxes because it's red turn.
Yeah.
So now you got that's not fun. That's nasty.
Yeah, I'm excited to see if anybody's going to use it. We'll see. If you guys are interested in the Fremont Reformation League and you're watching this, fleet deadline is May 27th. So you got some time to join us.
And Tabletop Simulator is half off this weekend.
That's true too. Alright, next card, last card in the pack. We do not get any ambassadors in this pack, but there weren't any on screen, technically. Not for the Cardassians anyway. So, last card, it is 1 per ship. Dominion Captain locked. It is Canar. This upgrade may be equipped to a ship without requiring an upgrade slot. So it is the question mark upgrade, 1 point. Planning phase. Place 2 time tokens on the captain equipped to this ship. Plan this ship's maneuver face up this game round. This ship does its perform action step before it reveals its dial this game round. Okay. John, what do you think of the card?
It's situational.
Mm-hmm.
So I would Ezri to protect my captain, get it back the next round.
That's true.
But it is nice is that it comes to your turn to move the ship. Someone just moved in front of you. You're like, I'm going to bump. I'm going to do my action now. And then go ahead and, you can't do it. You're planning it up. But if you're pretty sure you're going to bump, or you have no choice but to bump or run over an obstacle, at least this way you can get your action in before you do that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I struggled. It's just the way my brain works. I was trying to figure out where this card fit. But I guess that's a good point. It's kind of like Ilea, but you're planning your maneuver face up.
But it's a lot cheaper than Ilea.
That's true too.
Which is really nice.
David, what do you got?
So I actually like this a lot with deliberately bumping, but it also involves drinking some Meridor Gorn Ale. You get really drunk. You mix your beverages of
You got
choice,
yourself a cocktail, yeah.
and so what if you have to plan early? You're lowering your skill by 2, and you're going in for the bump. Maybe that means, I mean, yeah, it means your opponents can see what you're doing, but um,
Let me pull Gornail.
you're gonna cause problems, and um, maybe you've got a fleet that's meant to do things with that. I know there's some stuff that combos with that. You can, I mean, you can do a Matt Decker fleet. You can do the Admiral Worf and a Brentane, all the attacks before you even move.
You
That's
could
true.
lure them into a bump. Well, something like that.
Kind
Not
of, yeah.
lure. And, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or fake.
you could project a stasis field before you move.
Yeah, you could PSF before you move.
Chat says good for come abouts.
It really is good for come abouts.
That's an interesting one I didn't think of.
That's, anytime you have to reveal a red maneuver, you're doing your action before you reveal the red. So when you have to do a hard turn with your Galler or Keldon.
Yeah.
I mean, put this on Deep Space Nine, and then who cares what your maneuver is? It wasn't going to matter. Was anybody actually planning their maneuver around the maneuver of a space station?
Right. That's true too.
The nice thing is if it's when you're planning it up, even if you're telegraphing your opponent, hey, I'm putting my ship here to force you to bump me, you're forcing them to either move in the direction they didn't want to go or jump over you where they probably won't have a shot on you if they want to not sacrifice their action.
This is a mind game card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that means a whole lot.
I think red maneuvers and obstacles are where it shines, but yeah, you can that whole bumping game.
Yeah. Chat's pointing out that it would have to be Terok Nor.
Sure.
Either way, really the same station.
You know what? I don't believe in the names that former occupying forces give to stations.
True enough. Okay. Well, I do see where this card can be a benefit. That helps me understand it a little bit better. I like David's idea of mixing your drinks. Meridor and Gornail pairs well with Kanar. And then, of course, as you said, forcing a bump.
Bring a doctor with you.
Yeah. Yeah. You can do Bashir, Azri, either or. I mean, you could bring a counselor versus a doctor. So, well, that's the last card in the pack. Overall, what do you guys? Now that we've gone through everything, how do you guys feel about the pack and overall? We can start with David.
I said it at the beginning. It's a good pack. The highs are really high in this pack. There's a few lows, but the amount of really solid cards is up there. There's 28 cards in this pack?
Yes.
I think more than 20 of them provide interesting fleet building possibilities. I don't think it's 28. I think there's a couple of cards that make me go, wait, what, huh?
Yeah.
But, and I'm not even talking for missions. I mean, I'm sure everything can be used in a mission in the right situation. But still, the average card in this pack is opens up possibilities. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, for sure.
when Legion Crew Module is almost feels like a throwaway card, and it puts crew on the Dreadnought.
Yeah.
That's like, okay, fantastic. Um, and that's what this pack does. And if you like Cardassians or Dominion play at all, this does a ton for it. You know, what 8 years ago when this game came out, I never would have thought I was a Cardassian player, and they're still not my go-to, but I enjoy putting Dominion ships on the battlefield, and this pack opens that up a whole lot more.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, John, how about you? What do you think of the pack overall now that you've seen kind of a deep dive into everything?
Um, it's really good. It's a bit of a game changer for Dominion because it's just beefed, or let's say this, it's certainly a game changer for Gallers and Keldons, but
Yeah.
that's a game changer for Dominion. Yeah, I mean, if you have the Dominion faction pack with all the synergy that and this have,
Mhm.
running Dominion pure is really feasible. You probably hold up against a good number of decent fleets. It's really nice.
Yeah. I agree with both of you. I think overall this faction pack is probably one of the strongest that they've come out with. Out of the 4 that just recently came out, um, I don't know if this is the top one,
Yep.
but it's definitely it's definitely in there. It's in the conversation.
Yep.
As you said, it's very synergistic. It's very in itself, and that's a good thing, especially for the Dominion. There was something else I was going to say, but I completely forgot. So that's okay. The chat is naming off drinks that we still need to have in the game. Ractigino, blood wine, Romulan ale.
Yeah.
Yeah, tea Earl, Grey hot, coffee, black.
Yep.
So we can still get ourselves a full bar.
Yep.
But
Oh, that would be something.
So with that, thank you for coming on with us, John. It's great having you here with us, going through all the cards. I don't know if you're familiar with the Captain's Table book series. So as you know, the drinks are all paid for, but they do have the captains at the end of the day have to tell a story to pay their tab. I'm not going to make you tell a story, but I will ask you a question to pay the tab.
Sure.
And since you are the custom card creator guy, the guy that made the template that everyone uses, me specifically, when I was doing that stuff, I still dabble with it. I just haven't gotten into it lately. But what's one ship that you really want in the game, whether it has a mold or doesn't have a mold?
For having it, just to be able to have it in the game,
Yeah.
the Enterprise C.
Yeah.
That's always going to be my first thought. I mean, there's tons of ships where you could have cool effects and stuff that are thematic, but it's the C, the last Enterprise. Because we're never going to get a J. There's nothing to work with, but the C is.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. The J was kind of just a throwaway thing from Enterprise, and
yeah,
I think it was they used it for more shock value than anything else. Like, same thing with what they did in Discovery with the Voyager J. It doesn't make any sense. Or was it the Voyager? I don't know. The new Voyager.
I think it was the actual Voyager. Yeah.
No, it had a letter.
Oh, did it? I didn't see that.
Yeah, I think it might have been the J or was it an H. I don't remember. Um, but yeah, I think Enterprise C would be wonderful. I've been wanting that one for a long time. Ambassadors in general, because we've had more than just Enterprise C ambassador class. You've got the Horatio. There's a few others that aren't coming to mind. But David, same question. What is one ship that's in the game or not in the game that you would like to see come?
I mean, I've done this list a
That,
few times.
that's true. You have.
Um, right now, I I really want the Titan.
Mm,
Uh,
yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the Enterprise C tops my list, and right after that is the uh, All Good Things Enterprise, the future
Hmm.
Enterprise. I mean, I've been in love with that ship since the card game with the alternate universe set, and that was the ultra rare.
Yeah.
But the Titan is the Luna class is a class of ship that has captivated me. I have read the Titan book series. When I've done, I have done two different RPGs, Star Trek RPGs, and run Luna class ships in
Nice.
them.
Nice.
That's how much I love the Luna class. So I hope to get the Luna someday.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, I mean, it's on screen. It's official canon.
Yes.
We got the USS Titan. So hopefully, season 2 of Lower Decks will flesh that out a little more and give WizKids something to work with if they finally ever do that. Because I think a Lower Decks faction pack would be wonderful. Because you
or
could,
or two or three.
yeah. I mean, there's so many ships that are in there, and I thought Lower Decks did a great job with season 1 with the ships and the characters that they brought in. So I'm excited for season 2. I know they're going to flesh out the Titan in the first couple episodes a little bit more. Um, so I'm excited to see if maybe they bring in some of the book characters. It'd be
Yes, we'll
interesting to
see.
see. I forget the doctor's name, but you know, the doctor that views all its patients as its food.
Oh yeah, Zin Ra
Yeah,
Havri. Yeah,
yeah. So that'd be interesting to see on screen if they bring that. I really hope they do. Um, but I think for me, David alluded to it. The top number one ship that I really want to see, and it seems like it'd be super easy for them to do a mold because they technically already have, you know, 95% of it would be the All Good Things Enterprise D. Um, the three nacelled behemoth with the phaser lance. I think they could do an entire pack. Well, maybe not a pack. They could do an entire blister around it, really. Um, give us all the crew that we see in that episode. I mean, we technically already have the Admiral Riker and the Worf. I guess we got some of them from Pastor, but we don't have the Geordi or the Data or the Picard. There's stuff they can do with it. Um, but I'd really like to see that Enterprise D come to fruition. Even if it is Mirror, technically I would think it'd fall in the Mirror Federation line, just because it's a different time branch. But that's the ship I'd like to see come in. So, gentlemen, thank you for joining me tonight. It was really fun to go through these cards. I know we all struggled trying to get some combos with them, but I think we found a lot of use for these cards, and it seems to be that the chat and the people who are watching probably found a couple of good combos to use as well. Um, so again, thank you. Just to wrap things up here, we will have another captain's table. I know this was the last faction pack for us to go through, but David and I did talk about it, and we decided that Alliance probably deserves a spot on the captain's table. Its own chance to kind of shine in the sun, because the cards in it are actually fairly good. Um, and so that episode's going to be coming here shortly. I think we got it on the schedule. We got the Fremont Reformation Season 3 coming up. The fleet deadline submission just got pushed to May 27th. So if you are watching this after the live stream, either on Twitch or YouTube, and you're interested, join the Discord and drop us a link. You'll find all the information there. And you can submit a fleet and you have a good time. The lower decks is fun. Other than that, I'll have other content coming on the channel here shortly. We'll have build breakdown episode number 2. That's coming here in the near future. I will be taking a short break after this coming week, after Memorial Day, but we'll be hitting the ground hard when we get back. For Season 3 of the Fremont Reformation League, there will be a weekly wrap-up show. I believe that's going to be taking place on every Friday. That's going to be hosted by myself and Robert Fletcher. We'll be taking a look at the fleets that were submitted, along with any results from the week prior that were played. So, if you haven't followed the Twitch channel, give us a follow. If this is the content you like, that way you'll be notified when we go live. And if you don't catch us live, we do have a YouTube channel that we keep all the videos on. You can go find us at Antares Shipyard over on YouTube and give us a follow or subscribe there. All this content generally gets uploaded over there within a couple of days. Also, while you're there, go check out the shipyard and support David, because he does some great videos. I'm sure he's getting ready to get some stuff out eventually.
Yep. Stuff in the pipeline.
There we go. So again, thank you everyone for hanging out with us tonight, and have a good night.